In the greenhouse game, each week begins with 3 players entering the greenhouse, earning power in deciding who goes home each cycle. Players in the greenhouse designate which players are vulnerable at each week's banishment. Additionally, players are able to earn seeds, the in-game currency, and the vulnerable players can use those seeds to buy their way out of precarious situations. Alliances must be forged, lies must be told, and at the end of each cycle, someone has to go home. It's the ultimate game of negotiation. Do you strike now, or save your power for later? Do you rescue a valuable ally, or do you hang on to your seeds? In this underhanded game of survival, can you successfully put your trust in someone else? 16 enter, 1 will leave. This is The Greenhouse Season 6.
Well, welcome everybody to the Greenhouse 6 Jury Roundtable. You may notice we currently have a not-so-full jury, and we will be getting our 6th jury member shortly as we discuss the final 5, the games they've played, and who we think might take it. Real quickly, thank you all. How are we feeling?
Good.
Is there any saltiness, any tension still in the air?
Absolutely.
Of course.
It's just sitting next to me.
Ooh, I mean, the people I wanted out are right here beside me too, so it's better.
Okay, so they came in punching. Y'all came in punching. Real quick, just to refamiliarize you guys with these early boots. We have juror number 1, Matt. Juror number 2, Zakai. Juror number 3, Thomas. Juror number 4, Flytrapped Emily. And the Flytrapper, juror number 5, Oscar. How are you guys feeling about the people who are left? Do we like, just as an overall, not individual?
I think it's disappointing.
It's extremely disappointing. Don't like it.
Oscar, you're a little gagged by that. Why are you?
Why is disappointing? I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously I had the expectation that I was gonna whoop all your asses. I think that it's disappointing mainly because I personally really value a loud and brave game, as you may notice. So for me, I feel like there's a few quiet players that are left, and while I do understand why and how they got where they are, it's just not my personal taste.
No.
And to add to that, everyone who's sitting here in the jury, we've all had moves at least that were very public where we were able to own up kind of our gameplay. I can't say the same about everyone that's out there, and maybe in this conversation we can unveil a little bit more than that. It seems that a lot of people who are still in the game have played a very safe game from start to finish and have really kind of played the motion of the house rather than making distinct moves.
On the other side of that, they've also just played a much more tactful game than we have.
Right.
We pulled out our moves and we got sniped for them because we didn't cover our bases the right way.
I also feel like they just kind of played a boring game because they were like, oh, well, you were on the block 3 times, you were on the block 4, you were on the block 2, you were on the block 2.
I'm excited to talk about that further. I want to talk about who we think is filling this chair next. Without knowing who was in power, without knowing who was nominated, who do you guys think? Let's just go person to person and just give me a name of who you think will be in this seat. Matt, who do you think will be sitting in this seat?
I think at this point it's probably going to be Piglet. Big thing from it is in the game seems to be slowly becoming a dwindling number, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're there.
Cool. Zakai, who do you think is joining?
I feel like if they're smart, I think Elise or Thomas. It's between the two equally for me.
Thomas is right here.
I mean, not Thomas.
I understand.
Sorry.
We need to do names again.
We all thought it was
We'll
gonna
take
be
it.
longer.
Sorry.
The way almost every single one of you in your exit interviews said someone's name incorrectly is crazy. This is why y'all are sitting here, by the way. This is why y'all are here.
You're so right.
I said most people, not you.
Elise or Johnny.
Okay.
Technically, if they're
Thomas?
smart.
I hope it's not, but I think Elise.
Emily?
I suspect Elise.
Oscar?
I want Piglet.
Piglet? You want some bacon in that seat, some dead
Yeah, I'm not done eating.
Ooh. And eat we will. I'm not sure if we have our 6th juror, but if our 6th juror is out there, please join us.
Hey, T.
Elise, take a seat. Oh, I got chills. I know got there and I have chills. Welcome to the jury roundtable. Juror number 6, Elise. How are you feeling, Elise?
was fun.
That was fun. We'll do a full exit interview with you after
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get into the game, alright?
Yeah.
So Elise, what happened? Tell the group what got you here?
It had to be me, y'all. I couldn't play the next greenhouse challenge. And, you know.
Who put you up?
So Johnny said he would put me up so I could get a seed, but then real quick, he didn't put me up. He put Piglet up.
Shock.
And then Taylor was like, "Oh, I have to put you up," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess." But then like my conversations for the next like 10 minutes were just like, "Okay, so we're voting me out. Okay, so we're voting."
Did anyone go for the up route?
No, I actually tried to. This is actually kind of failed on my part and also failed on Johnny's part. I tried to give him my 3 seeds because I felt like at that point everyone had betrayed me, and I think he's the only one playing at this point.
I want to say something like I completely forgot about my seeds that I had,
I know.
and I could have given them
And
to you.
She
Yeah.
could be back in that house if you would have given
Yeah.
her
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but also I was banking of me not being here in the first place, so yeah.
Even if, like, I'm just saying this maybe to make myself feel better, and maybe to just like make the situation better. Even if you would have given me your seeds, which I don't know how many you had, they still could have and would have probably just given all their seeds to Piglet to outbid me.
Maybe, but we don't really know.
I think we saw some really dynamic gameplay from some of you.
What?
Say names.
I want to ask each of you, what are you looking for in a winner? Matt, can you give us a little bit of what you're looking for?
Yeah, one, own it. I think a lot of these players need to be able to speak to what they did in the game very clearly, be able to list off a couple different moments where they said, I controlled the flow of the game and I was able to do this, 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 and this. And also be able to own the times that they might have messed up. So if they are just not being truthful of what they're doing or half-bringing or trying to take credit for someone else's move, you'll lose my vote, and I feel like that's going to be where you start losing the game.
Zakai, what about you?
I second that as well, but also coming off of being in the block 4 times and having people constantly not play an excited game, in my opinion, it was very, very boring. So if you own it, yes, I will take that into account, but right now I'm more of on the chaos side. I want to stir up some trouble with my vote, so that's what I'm going to do. Looking for a winner, who do I feel like would be the most chaotic vote?
Speaking of chaos, Thomas, I would love to know what you're looking for.
I am looking for the least deserving winner. I don't think that I think that it's so stupid that I'm not going to win this game. So whoever is left, whether you are brave and proud, whether you played the smartest game, whether you had the most resources and you made it your way, I would like to throw my vote to the person that I think least deserves it.
You know that we signed up for a game that has a jury to decide the winner who deserves it? Like, that's like...
Chaos.
Exactly, though.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Pisces sister.
I want to come back around to that, but I want to pass it over to you, Emily. What are you looking for in a winner of the season?
I want to vote for the best competitor, the person that's well-rounded, hit every portion of the game. I want to see someone who went out and comps, and I want to see somebody who went for power moves. I want people who were negotiating seeds, people who are making alliances, and people who can define the whys they made a move. Not just, if you did it just spontaneous, I'll say it, but I want to know why you made the moves you made.
All right, Oscar, over to you. Thank you, Emily.
I think the winner that I want to see is, I will describe him as someone who is literally me. But I had a mistake of maybe being too aggressive. So the next person that I'm gonna give it to is someone who was almost as good as me, but laying low. And I think I already have my option.
I saw a big reaction when the jury was, when Oscar, you just said you're looking for someone like you. What was that reaction? I saw at least 4 of you react to that.
I mean,
I loved it.
Right.
Well, we saw some jumps in the back. I'm gonna call out some sections. So you 3 back here, I saw you all perk up a little bit. Did you feel like Oscar's game was win-worthy if he would have made it further? And do you think a winner that played similar to Oscar deserves to win?
I think you know how we feel.
Okay. If I'm gonna cut the shit for a second,
Okay, please.
and you can reference my exit interview, I did have you picked as my winner.
And you're not the only one in this group.
And I have no doubt about that, because I think that you have a very well balanced game, and that's kind of that. I have my own contingencies about how you played because of my own personal benefits and losses, but at the end of the day, I have a reaction because I thought that was tea,
Oh,
not because I disagree with it.
Okay.
I thought it was
trying
brilliant.
to stir the pot.
Looking for someone like me. I'm like, okay, girl. No, I found out as I have sat here after my exit interview, and this is probably the most vulnerable that you're gonna get out of me. I was not stirring the pot. I was the ladle. So
Can you?
take that as you will.
What does that
Someone
mean?
was stirring
What does that
up.
mean?
Yeah.
That means that I was allowing everyone to stir me up. I was so reactive to everyone around me, and so. I mean, that's kind of it.
I
Yeah.
told you that.
It was fun to
Did I
bring
tell
stuff
you
on
what
Thomas.
the person?
Yeah, I found that out too.
And
I
did
do
tell
want
you-
to, for the sake of time, I do want to go
Yeah.
over to Elise and talk about what are you looking for in a winner.
I think someone who's actually been playing the game, and I think a lot of the people who are still left have barely been playing the game, and they just got on the lucky side of the house, and they got on a majority,
Yeah.
and they've won a couple different challenges to stay in on a round that could have been crucial for them, or to be in the greenhouse a round that could have been crucial to them, but they haven't led any major decisions. They haven't sort of formed any really crucial alliances. They a lot of them have like turned on their alliances, so wishy-washy.
Is it possible that you just don't know what alliances they were in?
I mean, they could have been in multiple alliances, right? But like, still blatant betrayals. And to me, that like, I don't look for like someone who's like, I would prefer a more straightforward, but also competitive, win stuff, has orchestrated things. Like being a liar, like in the game,
we all
like,
can do it.
we all can do it, and like, great, it didn't blow up in your face as early, but like now I know. So I'm not looking to vote for someone who's been like just saying shit the whole time.
I want you to raise your hand if you felt like you were comfortable or in an alliance with the following people, okay? Let's start with Piglet. Raise your hand if you felt like you were solid with Piglet. Okay. Raise your hand if you felt like you were solid with Johnny. Alright. And raise your hand if you were solid with Zach. Alright. Raise your hand if you were aligned with Josh or felt comfortable with Josh. Alright. Not looking good for you, Thomas. Raise your hand if you.
Taylor!
Raise your hand if you were comfortable with Taylor.
Until the very end.
Cool. And I wanted to ask that because I think that leads us really well into the next game and lets you guys kind of know amongst each other. A lot of people felt really comfortable with all 5 people who were left, besides you. And honestly, Matt, you did get the short end of the stick with some of them. So let's dive in. Who do we want to talk about first? Who are we fired up about right now?
Who had the least comfortable people? I said let's go that way.
Least comfortable people?
Mhm.
I was not writing down.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I feel like Zach had
I think
least
Zach
comfortable.
was.
So let's talk about Zach's game. What has Zach done well?
Tight lip.
Yeah.
Flown under the radar
Yeah.
for most of the game until like 2 rounds ago.
I think he crashes the right groups and brings back information to his alliance pretty well.
Mm.
Lying.
Yeah, at some point.
You
some-
too,
Right?
What?
You too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I feel like there might be some lies with Julius.
And I think what he did really well too is Zach's really good at like proposing solutions to things. So like even if I wasn't working with him, he was saying, if you went this route, I have no reason to go after you this round. Just put it out there. He never said he wanted to alliance with me, but he always said like, I'm not going after you this round. So it's always in the back of your head that, hey, we might have some common targets. Don't discount him.
Zach is very smart. He knows the rules.
Oh yeah.
At some point, I tried to play the like older brother type of card. Like, yeah, I'll take care of you. I'll look out for you. But he does not need it. Even though he's the youngest, I believe, of the cast, he does not need it. So that's all I have to say about him. And that's why I don't trust him.
So what are some of the winner qualities you were looking for that you do see in Zach?
Adaptable and strategic for sure. He is very adaptable in this game, and he knows how to stick to his guns, it seems like, quite a bit. From what I'm hearing down here is, no matter what changed in the situation, and no matter who was left in the house, he always had a backup plan of who he could try to wrangle around him.
Yeah.
Elise, did you learn anything from the round you were handcuffed with him about his game, or maybe what you weren't seeing with him?
Honestly, not too much, and that's what. Who said he was tight-lipped?
I did.
I feel like he knows what to say when, and he was very comfortable both like having conversations in the three or separating, which was kind of mutual trust. I could have learned more, but
I didn't vote you out. Don't look at me like that.
anyways, yeah.
Let's talk about the shortcomings. Where did Zach fall short for you guys?
I think unfortunately he's more of a soldier. Like he's never like giving orders. He's more like following through and gathering information and bringing it back to his boss.
Yes, spreading information.
I think he knows his strengths and he's very reactionary as to like every week what's the challenge and how to solve it. And every time he was on the block, he was quick with the rules and tried to come up with solutions to other people that instead of the one that he was working with, so he could save himself. So that's one of his strengths. I feel like he doesn't need to be calling the shots because then you're going to be on the spotlight and they're going to call you out. Instead of, let me just see how the game is going and let me see what I can do in the backside. Cool. And he was good at that.
Yeah. Let's head on over to Joshville, not the pig. Let's talk about Josh. Where is Josh going right? What's he doing right?
He's doing right. I think he's like my Achilles son or whatever, Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Because he's a very, I could feel him as a very honest, like chill person that if I tell him something that he agrees and stuff, and it turns out that he's not. So he's very good at hiding that. So I give him that.
He's also very good at applying pressure. Like from beginning, he was one of my original allies from the start of the game. Both the Joshes I aligned with for the majority of the game. It was public knowledge. I think everyone kind of targeting for it. But what he did really well is, despite that, he was able enough to apply pressure, saying, "Yeah, I'm going to work with other people, but you and I have to still stick together." And it's always made it to an impossible situation. I couldn't break away from it. I think some players, if they stick you in the glue trap, no matter what, I had to live or die by the sword of him.
I think he also made it really, well, not made it. I think he did really well hiding who he was aligned with, because to say that you two were aligned from the beginning, he came and he kept like ranting and raving. He was like, "I'm not aligned with Matt. I'm so angry. I would never be your friend." And I was like, "Oh, if you're so upset, it must be true. You're not aligned." So like having that alliance and then hiding it really well, I always felt like, well, I don't know who Josh is with, but I know Josh has my back. But in all honesty, Josh had Josh's back, I feel, which is the best back to have.
We love to hear that. We love to hear that. When we talk about Josh's opportunities to win, what qualities does he hold of a winner?
He's thoughtful. He has reasons for his moves and he weighs the options before making a promise to follow through.
Yeah, very strategic.
He's a rallier, so like if he needs to make a charge or stuff, he seems like he could be able to get people to at least entertain it, and he knows how to hunt down the right people. I think out of anyone I saw, if he goes into a room, no one picked up and left every time he went into the room. Everyone wanted to sit and actually hear what he had to say, which can't be said the same for a lot of people in this game.
Is he really gathering votes?
I don't really
I do want to ask, do you guys feel like he was an advocate for himself as well? Because he was someone who got uproot more than once for himself.
Right. I feel like he didn't have to advocate for himself, kind of thing. No one was really looking at Josh to go.
Okay.
Josh was just always a good middle person. Mm-hmm. Everyone felt comfortable with Josh, especially like, well, maybe not you, but you know.
Once again, raise your hand if you felt comfortable with Josh.
Raise your hand if you were scared. You know. But
a lot of people.
A lot of people were scared. But yeah.
I wasn't, and now I am.
Fair enough.
We underestimated him. We let him sit in the middle, and after Matt goes, his ally, we were like, sure, someone will pick him up. But he picked us up instead.
And I want to ask, where did he fall short? Elise, can I start with you?
I thought while he was quiet and thoughtful that he coasted a bit. He hadn't won Greenhouse till a couple challenges ago, which I guess didn't put anyone on his radar as a threat. But then his biggest resume line was getting Oscar out, so I think his game turned. I think for a good bit of the game, I wasn't exactly sure what he was doing, but now I think I view him as a stronger player.
Yeah, I think he has to prove, whether it's that move and anything else, that he didn't just stay in the middle, and he at least was able to do stuff. So even when we were talking, just like when I was on the block, yeah, I would help campaign and be able to help support from it. But I don't know what he had in those conversations where we can prove definitively that he saved me or not. I don't know if that happened or if it was me campaigning. And if he can be able to own that part, that at least can tell the story from a cause and effect relationship. Until then, we have one major big move that we have to give him a lot of credit for, and a lot of little tiny moves that we don't know what his status
Don't know where
is.
the ownership goes.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Johnny, or if we need to talk about Johnny, let's go ahead and welcome our second to last juror. Juror number 7, come on in, babe.
This isn't the greenhouse.
Take a seat right here.
You know what? You should be right there. You should be.
Yeah, sit your ass.
So, first off, I saw a lot of reactions, a lot of reactions to this. Does someone real quickly want to talk why you had such a big reaction? Maybe Oscar?
Yes, because I do believe that you had it for a while, and then with your move for like voting me out and getting me gone, I mean, if you would have trusted me and at least us three, we wouldn't have been here. That's all I have to say. But welcome.
No, okay, so I did fully trust both of you, but what happened was they had 5 banked votes, or 5 total votes versus our 4 votes. So either way, you were going home. That's what I told Elise. And for me, what happened was Johnny was like, just put 1 banked vote on Oscar, save the other 2 for yourself later so we can use that going forward. So that's what I did. It was for my game. You were going to go home either way.
I think there are decisions you could have made in that round and the rounds before that could have not gotten you and us in that spot, and I would have loved to like hear the conversations that you had with Josh and Johnny and Zach that round.
And we will have plenty of time. I do want to focus. Can you share with us who nominated you?
Oh, it was Zach.
Zach nominated you?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the vote?
It was me versus Johnny, and then Taylor uprooted, and she uprooted Johnny, then it was me versus Josh, and Johnny voted me out.
Okay, so it's very.
So speaking of Johnny, alright, so let's move on to Johnny. We are going to talk about what we've been doing is talking about where they're doing great, why they could be a winner, and where they're falling short. So let's go ahead and start with where they're doing great. Emily, do you want to share a little bit about Johnny? I know you guys worked pretty closely, but do you want to share anything else with the group?
I think Johnny's really great at maintaining his relationships, specifically his relationship with his girlfriend. Me?
What the fuck?
Stop.
Did you know?
I mean,
I
just
someone
found
told me.
I
I
just
said
found
no
out.
one told me.
Alright, so that was great. Now, what a reveal. Well, that is something great Johnny did. Matt, do you want to speak a little bit more to what Johnny did that was pretty great in the game?
Yeah.
One of his strengths?
So I knew that going into this game that they knew each other, that their relationship. I've known Johnny for a couple of games before. What is interesting about Johnny is that he is doing really great at setting up situations where every single person feels comfortable. If they talk to him, they feel like they can't go against him because it's basically declaring war on the house. I had that information against him, and I felt like I could never weaponize that against him, or I would be screwed the next round. So he found a way to even strong-arm me to be able to do his bidding.
Cool, and let's just keep it moving. Let's talk about why Johnny could be a winner.
His social game. His social game alone, I think, is like proof enough of his winner material. he's able to be loud and proud about everything while still making moves and lying to other people and making them feel comfortable.
Oscar.
Also, his knowledge of the game, he came prepared with the rules and what every single item does, so it will come in handy when it was time needed that he will get along with someone else and bring up this information about, yeah, you can pass this to and bring it back to me and we're both safe, things like that. Things I didn't even know, so that was very strong for him.
Cool. Elise?
I think he's been playing like the biggest, boldest game the entire time, and I think of all the people there, like from a social and competitive standpoint, that like he's been excelling the most at those.
Where's he fallen short?
Probably like lying or over promising.
Can I ask real quick, who was in a Final Five of some sort with Johnny at some point?
Not me, but he pitched me to be with him in a final something.
He pitched me for final two.
I'm pretty sure he pitched every home. Or
I never had any confirmed Final Fives. I just want everyone to know. That's all.
Because that was word of the town.
It
Yeah, that was
was.
word of the town. I will say Johnny was supposed to be in the seat, and it happened last second that it flipped. Reason being, Zach told me that y'all two were dating, and then I respected his decision for me to keep it to myself, but I said we need to get Josh to find out this information because Josh was the sole vote. Zach told Josh, but then didn't tell Taylor, and then Taylor uprooted Johnny. And it was supposed to be Johnny right here. Final three was going to be me, Josh, and Taylor.
So let's talk a little bit, works right into our next contestant, our next player, Taylor. Does anyone have any opening thoughts as we talk about Taylor, maybe strengths? I'm seeing a no over here, but Zakai, I see a yes. Will you talk about it?
Yeah, I think Taylor had a lot of good underlying gameplay. She had a lot of alliances going on, and I will say for a fact, because I know I was in the majority of them, I mean, we made a final three during breakfast. It was basically before round one. We had a final three, me, her, and Kiara. So, and then we did the girly pops that you proposed and then blew up because you said that she didn't want it. But, I mean, you know, and that was like 6 or 7 of us, and then we had another alliance with some other girls. I mean, it was me, Taylor, and Kiara were.
So she had a pretty wide net.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did anyone else feel like? Can I get a raise of hands of who felt comfortable with Taylor, or at least to talk a little bit of game? I want to break the format a little bit. Matt, you had a strong reaction. Will you share a little bit of what your thoughts are, regardless of positive and negative?
At least from my side, in terms of jury management, she didn't do much. She didn't talk much game. I don't think that she, other than the times where she was forced into power, she ever had to make a real tough decision or put herself at any level. So in terms from my side, it's a little bit bland.
Does anyone want to share what could make Taylor a winner? Maybe outside of just her wide net. Can we get some more positives and winner material from Taylor?
If you can convince who the real winner is to feel bad for you, just like you did with a lot of people, maybe, yeah, you can win.
Do you think that she played a guilt card with any of you, or tried to make you feel bad about nominations, or?
To me, she was always stressed, she was always nervous, she was always shaking, she was always in the verge of tears. And that to me is like, wait, this is just a game, let me help you out, let me tell you what's going on. And that's how I keep bringing her only because I felt bad for her.
So
like,
sympathy.
for sympathy. So if you keep continuing to do that, then that makes you win. Congrats, but that's not my game.
I've said it many times during the game, but she's been playing with fear and like what she's afraid of will happen and how does she prevent that, rather than like what she's actively doing to set herself up to be in a better spot for the next.
And I can speak to that because me and Taylor are working really close together, and even when me and her were in the greenhouse, and she was scared about you because she was saying like, oh, Oscar's putting pressure on me, blah 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 blah. And I was like, girl, you have Sunflower. Like, you're the one in power.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to act like you're in power. And that's when I had Rose, and I was like, I'm nominating Zach. I'm letting everybody know I'm nominating Zach. If you want to nominate Oscar, that's your prerogative. I don't think you should do it. But I was like, why are you scared of someone who doesn't have power right now?
Yeah.
So I would agree she acted in fear all the
That
time.
could also be a downfall, like a heavy downfall of just being afraid of other people.
I do want to say, if she makes it to the final 3 or potentially final 2, would her taking ownership or addressing some of the moves that maybe she did have a heavier hand in give the possibility to potentially sway a vote?
No.
No.
I'd have a
The
hard
other
time
person got
voting
to mess
against
up
her.
first.
I feel like I know a lot of her gameplay because she was very upcoming and up forth with me about everything that she did, really.
I think she's still here because other people need her to be there.
I think her
Well, that's
strings
kind
are
of
full.
good.
Okay. As we wrap up and head towards seeing who is making our final 3 and ultimately who you guys are voting for, I want to encourage you to go in with an open mind, and you are each going to have the opportunity to ask a question of the jurors.
Hello, Final Four. You have made it to the final elimination of the season. Here's how the Final Four works. All of the seeds and bank votes that you still hold in your pots are now votes for someone to win final immunity. You will all go in the voting booth just like you have all season. And then you will use your seeds and bank votes to vote for someone else to win final immunity. You cannot vote for yourself. Whoever receives the most votes wins final immunity and eliminates the 4th place finisher. An important caveat, if there's a tie, this will end in a final 2. So if 2 people win immunity, the other 2 players are automatically thrown out. If there's a 3-way tie, then the person who didn't receive votes or who is not in the tie is thrown out. If there's a 4-way tie, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't think it's going to happen.
Hello. So
What's up?
I do not have any seeds. I gave my seeds to Taylor.
Really? So she has them all?
Yeah, so she has my seeds right now.
And is she gonna play them on you to make the decision?
I think so.
Okay.
But honestly, any of us 3 making the decision, I'm like,
Yeah. I agree. The reason I kept Josh, and I hope you get it, but it was obviously for myself. If he's in the finale, he's gonna claim all of the stuff that we did, and people are gonna give him the credit for it because it was his greenhouse.
I think so.
And I also think if people find out that we were in an alliance that never broke, with the exception of the one time the Venus Flytrap was played on our alliance members, they will vote for the person that was not in the alliance because juries just notoriously hate alliances that steamroll the game.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that if Josh was not in it, and he could keep claiming he wasn't in it throughout the finale once he hears about it in everyone's opening speeches and questions, then they're going to know that he probably was the person who defied the odds the most to make it there, and they're just going to vote him to win.
Yeah.
And he's also extremely likable.
He is very likable. I don't know. You don't have any seeds, do you?
No, I don't have a single
Okay,
thing.
so I think it just comes down to like who Josh and Taylor are putting their votes on.
Yeah.
I do think I have to talk to Taylor. Like, I'm pretty sure we should be good, but
Okay.
obviously we need to have that conversation.
Do you guys plan on getting rid of Josh?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. Did
Unless
you
she's
think that
somebody
Piglet was going to be here?
What do you mean?
Like, who did you? I didn't really get the chance to even confirm who I was going to evict, and I was thinking about it in the chair.
I know personally I was, and I think Taylor was closer to Josh.
Okay.
So, like, I didn't want to sit next to Piglet just because I haven't really like been on the same page as Piglet.
Oh, interesting.
But I think either way was a good call, honestly.
I just think whoever the bigger threat is was the person to bring to 4, so that way we all feel better about bringing ourselves to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Be honest with me.
Yes.
What happened out there?
Okay, so after our conversation, I felt so good. And then I honestly didn't even talk to Piglet at all one time last round. I kind of got like bombarded by both Johnny and Zach, who I assume are very close, and they were telling me that like y'all two were super close.
Me and who?
You and Piglet.
I met him yesterday.
Same. But in terms of the game, and that like I was just like setting myself up, just kind of like throwing it under, and the ultimate thing was that at least Zach, I was under the impression you were gonna bid for Uproot, and so I was just kind of flushing some seeds out. I did not think that I was going to get Uproot.
Because I wasn't going to bid on it.
Yeah.
Because I knew.
Because I was told that you were.
No. I knew that.
And I
John
feel
was
like I was just kind of getting kind of played a fool a little bit last round. I'm sorry. But I just got so scared because I felt like maybe I was in between two duos.
Right.
And I felt like Piglet was so heated at me from like being a nom the round before. But I was like so happy with my noms and I just got scared and realized I just like wasted my seeds.
That was our top 3. I was securing our top 3
I
by
know.
keeping Piglet and voting off John.
I know.
Who you know is dating. His girlfriend is in the 3rd.
Which I learned.
And his best friend is sitting on the couch with him.
This was who?
Him and Zach.
Which I didn't know.
They are friends. That is so unfair.
But I will say, I have 2 seeds.
Okay.
I don't know how many you have.
I have 3.
I swear, like.
Do you have any bank votes?
No. These 2 seeds are from Zach, surprisingly. So I don't think he has any seeds, and apparently Johnny doesn't have any seeds.
Okay.
So if you're like willing, like I will swear on my cats, and those are like the most precious things to me. I don't know where your thoughts are, but like.
I mean, I want to take you. I've always.
I do too, and I think the worst part is I wanted to like touch base at the end, and I think I just got so freaked the fuck out at the end that I just kind of like let it get the best of me. But I feel like he just like showed his true colors there, anyways.
So we cannot vote for ourselves. You know this?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, you can't put your own seeds on yourself.
Then what's the point of racking them up all game?
Literally.
Interesting. Okay. If I take my 3 seeds
Do you want? Okay.
and put them on you,
Okay.
you take out one of them.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Johnny goes to find his girlfriend is in.
I'm gonna rally for him.
Yeah, that's gonna be a vote. And then if Zach goes, it'll be he gets Johnny's vote and Emily's vote.
I know. It's up to you if you want a final 3, put 3 on me. And if you want a final 2, put 2 on me and 1 on.
Okay. Do you think it's worth me spending a seed to see the list? And then if it's
Can we do that?
and then if it's in our favor,
Because we'll still have 4. And I do think it's
because you have 2 at 3,
right.
we get
Like,
4,
we're
and
not-
it's we
we're
can
not
split.
good to vote. We truly think that when Emily was fly trapped, that he had 0 after that.
Yeah.
I am either about to be the biggest clown ever, or I literally am about to be final 2. I think Josh is a scary person to go up against, but I am willing to take that risk.
Hey Holly.
Hello.
I would
What
love
to do?
to spend 1 seed.
Sorry, let me get these out of the shot.
You're good. I would love to spend one of my seeds to see the seed count.
Of course. Okay.
And is there any way, like Oscar had, to have it texted to me?
I'm gonna screenshot it and text it to you. Yes.
Here it is.
Okay. I will take yours out, so yours will be updated now,
Okay.
as well as the entire count.
Okay.
How many seeds in banked votes do you have?
I have 0 banked votes.
How many seeds do you have?
I have 2 seats.
Okay, so Taylor's the one with the most.
Yeah.
So
Well, no. I think she also has 2 seats. Or maybe no, she has 3.
I think she does have 3.
She has 3.
The only thing I would be lightly nervous of is if they intentionally tie it and eliminate us both.
And yeah. Well, how many seats does Jack have?
He gave all of his to Taylor.
Oh.
And I have 0. I guess to save us both, or sorry, to save one of us, but not both of us, if you split the seeds that you were doing, I know that you told Taylor whenever you told her, and I'm sure you're going to talk to Zach too. But if you split them, you block their opportunity from being able to tie it intentionally to take us out. Because if Taylor puts 1 on me and 2 on Zach, and then you put 2 on Taylor, it ties and me and you are gone. I believe Taylor's plan is to give 3 seeds to Zach.
Okay.
The other plan that she could have is giving 2 seeds to Zach and 1 seed to me, because she doesn't think that you would give me seeds.
Okay.
If that happens, me and you both go home, because
she would have 2 because you would give her 2.
Mhm.
Zach would have 2 because she would give him 2. And then she would give me or you 1
Just one.
to make sure that they tie and are the final 2.
Right.
And I don't think they're happy that I eliminated Piglet.
Okay.
That was the light vibe that Zach gave me.
Okay.
So I think Taylor is going to give all of her seats to Zach regardless, and Zach will have the power this round. But if they do try to do the thing that I think they might do,
Mhm.
and you split your seeds between me and let's say Zach,
Okay.
you avoid the tie,
Right.
and one of us gets a chance.
Right. Okay.
I think.
What were you saying?
Did you know that Piglet was going?
No.
I didn't either.
Me and Johnny have no seeds, so what are you and Josh doing? Are y'all doing the...
I'm trying to get him to put the seeds on me.
if there's somebody that's outside on the alliance and there's 2 people in the alliance, at the end they're always going to vote for the person outside the alliance.
Oh, you're thinking that
They're going to prefer
Josh.
especially if they know of how the alliance came, which is essentially pre-existing connections. Well,
But
we didn't really know
I
each
didn't
other.
know
but,
any of you guys.
you know, I'm having 2 opinions or thoughts in my head. First of all, what gives me the best chance of winning, and second of all, what do I feel the best about if I don't win? I think inherently, I want to be next to Taylor because me and Taylor have worked essentially in lockstep for a lot of this game. It's just who we want with us. Personally, I've decided on Johnny just because I worked closer with Johnny, and then also I feel like Josh is so likable, and also the jury will give him that Oscar move, and that's my move. I want to claim that move. I don't think the jury respects me right now. I think they thought I've done essentially nothing. I don't think Taylor's gonna backstab me here, but you never know.
Alright, thank you. Josh shows Taylor that they have the only 4 seeds in the game.
0 banks, 2-2. We can take each other to the top 2.
Okay.
I think we should. I put 2 in you.
Okay. I'll be between you.
Promise. Because, okay, so he was just outside telling me how he thinks that you and Zach are trying to.
Zach was trying to get me to give him my seeds.
Okay.
Because technically these were his seeds.
Yeah.
You really will put them on me?
Who else am I going to put them
Hopefully not either of
on?
them.
I'm your chance, you're my chance.
Yeah,
And without the other, we can't.
I agree.
So. America.
Is this the final 2 you imagined?
I hope
Everything you
so.
always hoped for?
Team Green. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone comes in here and talks to you,
Okay.
I'm still sticking with my plan.
Okay. I want you to be the last person I talk to.
Please.
Yes.
Stick with the plan.
Yes.
Okay.
I will stick with the plan.
Okay.
You pinky promised me so you can't break it.
Both of them. Well, wait, I want to cross them. They're not crossed. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Oh, this has been fun. I'm glad we work.
Me too. This has been
We'll be
amazing.
friends after this.
Let's go to jury. Jury, we coming for you. Initially, like coming into it, I was honestly was a little greedy that I'm like, I want the best chance to win with whoever I sit next to.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, I thought that I might have had a better chance with Josh, but your pitch really like put things in perspective. That first of all, I want one of us 2 or Taylor to win. Like Josh played good, but he also played passive and he played separate from me for a lot of the game. And I feel like the jury will respect him more, they'll like him more, and they'll also credit that move to him.
Taylor told me before I got here that like 3 of the 4 greenhouse winners were all likability. And that I forgot to bring up is that I'd be blown away if the jury by now does not know that I'm dating Emily. And I just think that a lot of people will think I had a crutch, especially because there was a lot of talk of Venus flytrapping me, and Emily basically fell on a sword. And like that is a huge notch against me. That the one opportunity that people wanted to do it, my girlfriend basically just said, "Take me instead."
Yeah.
Which is something that can be used against me in the jury.
Yeah. But just personally, like, not even going for the win, I want me, you, and Taylor to win. So I want us to be the final 3, but they have all the seeds and all the power. So it really is.
They do. And I want to talk to Taylor.
When I talked to Taylor, she seemed to lean wanting to go down Josh. But they're keying it up. So it's like,
He can't get up?
Keying. They're chatting it up.
Okay. would obviously, I know they won't end the round before me being able to talk to Taylor, but I'd like to see what she says.
Okay.
What you thinking?
Well, I think that you're gonna get it, or Zach's gonna get it.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, sorry. I know you and Zach passed each other your stuff, and the question is who's gonna give it to the other. The stuff I said to Zach that I will say to you is I think the most recent biggest move in the game was like Josh's, and I just think that's what the jury roundtable must have been talking about for the last hour and a half because they were all very obsessed with the Oscar and Elise thing, and Josh was the one that did it. I also think that when people find out that the three of us plus Emily were in an alliance the whole time, they will not like that we were in a majority alliance. And if there's one person that is in the finale that was not in that group, I think we all lose. I will get fourth, one of you will get third, the other will get second, and Josh will probably win. And the thing that I just said to Zach, is that my relationship with Emily is probably going to be a huge negative on my game because I came in here with my girlfriend, and I just think you use that against me in the finale, and all of my stuff to say too. But like Emily literally fell on the sword for me for the Venus flytrap, and while I appreciate it, obviously I know it didn't look good for me in the moment. And that's really all I have to say. I've been loyal to you and Zach the entire time, and you have been my number one the entire game outside of what I would say is Emily, but I didn't even play the game with Emily that much, and I told you everything I was doing every step of the way.
Kind of your reasoning last round, I thought you were doing Josh.
To eliminate Josh.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said before. I didn't know if you had like reasoning.
No, honestly, I didn't. Well, okay, my reasoning for getting rid of Piglet is twofold. One of which I think you guys would have wanted to take him to the final three more than me, and it would have put me in a much worse spot this round, which may be fair, may not be fair.
No, I'm not mad about it at all. I just
No, I know, and that was my biggest reason for it, and the other is because I tried to work with Piglet at the beginning of the round, and he basically told me that he'd rather me go than try to get Uproot together as like a pair. Because I was like, hey, if you get Uproot, you could eliminate Josh. And he was like, I really don't want to do that, and I'm probably going to save my seeds for Final Four and try to get you out. And he said, I want to just be blunt about it. And I said, okay, got it.
So are you planning to like put your seeds on Taylor?
I'm not comfortable sharing where I'm putting my seeds.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's fine. Yeah, we'll have to see then.
Okay.
I mean, because that's just kind of the principle and thought I was going off of, just that we figure that out and then Johnny goes. But if something else is going on, I mean, like, that's fine, because me and Johnny, I think, have nothing. Yeah, so it's like, not much can be done, essentially.
Why would I give my seeds to someone who has nothing to give to me? Why would I give my seeds to someone who has plotted against me in this competition? Huh? Why would I give my seeds to someone who has a secret relationship in this circle and decided not to tell anyone? Huh? I don't know. But America, if you know, maybe you can send me a DM. I'm on Twitter at Josh Bauer, and you can find me pretty much anywhere. If you do know, let me know. Because right now, I'm not seeing it. So, final two.
Alright, here we are at the final banishment of the season. Congratulations to all of you for making it this far. I've absolutely loved watching you all play this weekend, and let's see how it all turns out. Alright, hi Zach.
Hello.
What are you doing?
So, I didn't know if y'all know this, but I don't got anything. I gave mine to Taylor. I trust Taylor here. I don't know what the fuck Josh is doing. If they pull some kind of shit, I mean, good on them. I don't see the point, because blindsiding for no reason at 4 is stupid. I might have to, it will really put my jury vote up in the air if they're trying to tie it between Josh and, between them.
This might be my swan song. They told me they want to take me to 3. I don't think they should, but at the same token, I do think, like, being in a majority alliance and then taking a person that's not in it to the finale, that person almost always wins. Like, ultimately speaking, they should save me, but I feel really confident in my game and the things I pulled off, especially in the last 2 rounds, that I just hope that people will see my strategic avenues. If it was too strategic and they're going on likability, I could lose, but like I am going to go into it just saying that I played a really strategic game and I'm very proud of the game that I played. And if I get 4th place, it will suck, but I had the best experience. So here's the hoping, but if not, swan song. You guys want to do a little one of these? Go team!
Season, y'all.
Good season. I think we put on a great
I
show.
think it's a good.
I think we put on a good show.
I wish
They're gonna be goofs.
whatever happens, best of luck.
Yeah.
I think also Greenhouse it's kind of difficult for a cast to fuck it up too. Like, I think we had a really good season.
Me too.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the finale of the Greenhouse Season 6. After a long, hard-fought competition, we are down to our final 4. Let's bring them in. Josh and Zach. Have a seat.
Hey.
Alright, it is time to eliminate our final player right in front of the jury. I'll go get the results.
Inspected by Tina.
Inspected by Tina.
These results
Have been inspected by Tina.
As always, these results have been inspected by Tina.
Miss Tartan?
Alright, here we are. As a reminder, the final 4 just used their seeds and bank votes to vote for one of them to receive final immunity. Whichever one receives the most votes will then cast the final vote to banish the 4th place finisher. If there is a tie, we will go in a final 2. If there's a 3-way tie, we'll have a final 3. If there's a 4-way tie, I'll freak the fuck out. Here are the results. Johnny received 0 votes. Taylor received 2 votes.
So just to confirm, the cup that putting the chips in is the person that I'm voting for to be in.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, this person has been a very close ally of mine since the very beginning. We haven't always worked together, but we have worked parallel to each other, if that makes sense. And so for that reason, I'm hoping that this person did the same thing that I am doing. We've talked about this, and all I can say is I hope that they do what's best for our game. And for that reason, I am putting 2 seeds in Taylor's cup.
All right, thank you. Josh received 0 votes. And Zach received 2 votes. Which means we have a 2-way tie, and for the first time, the Greenhouse game is ending in a final 2. I'm sorry, but Josh and Johnny, you have both been eliminated from the game.
How many seats do you think Josh is getting?
I don't know. I'm gonna try and see if he'll show me the list.
If he gives you 3, you could give me 3, and it would be a final 2. I love Josh, but I feel like he's a likable guy, and he kills us.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I really hope that Josh is being truthful after I did him dirty, and puts his votes on me to either go to a final 2 with him or make the final decision. If he puts 2 votes on me and I put 2 votes on Zach, I could almost guarantee that I'm in the final 2 no matter what. I just am a little bit nervous that I'm not sure that I'm a little scared that
I'll be right up.
okay. I don't want to be second place because I always eat these games up and get undercredited as a woman, because I'm like a middle person, and I'm hoping if Josh is being honest to me, I can have the power to make that decision. I just want to be played a fool, but I've had fun either way. I want to fucking win though.
They're not pros. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Oh, this has been fun. I'm glad we work.
Me too. This has been
We'll be
amazing.
friends after this.
Let's go to jury. Jury?
I am so conflicted because I could be getting bamboozled. I think I'm going to the final two no matter what. I need to make the decision on whether I am taking Josh or Zach. The worst part about this is that I don't like breaking pinky promises, and Edmund is gonna kill me if he sees me break a pinky promise, but I also really want to win this game. And I do think Josh has a really good chance. I think he speaks very well. And I think I'm leaning towards taking Zach. I think I've been such a fucking snake these past few rounds. Truthfully, the whole game, but I covered it up a lot better before. When it comes to Johnny, I will not be giving him my seeds. Honestly, like, I think that he speaks well, is kind of a little savvy, has a girlfriend on the jury. When it comes to Zach, I was in a foursome with Johnny, Zach, and Emily, and we said we're gonna write it out. I was always truthfully a little bit scared that they were closer, but I think Zach is closer to me, and technically these are his two seeds, and is expecting those. Josh, failed attempt kind of last round a little bit. Not good, but he did a seed count. I saw the sheet. We only have 2 seeds, so this will be a final 2. The biggest thing is, like, I think my chances against Zach are better. Josh, I think, has a really good chance of winning this game, and maybe this is stupid, but, like, I literally just pinky promised him I would not that we would go to final 2. But I just think he takes the game. But, like, I can't. Eddie, you're gonna kill me if I break pinky promise, and I feel like everyone's gonna be so pissed. But maybe this is like my villain story arc. Will people respect a villainous game? I'm making literally this $0 million decision, huh? Why am I so conflicted? You're probably sus that I'm so conflicted. I'm so sorry about the pinky promises. Oh my god. You don't hate me, I know I need to wrap it up. I think I'm just gonna hopefully rely on my speaking skills. Hope for the best. And I'm putting in that's who I'm wanting to.
You're voting for him to get immunity.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
And Zach received 2 votes. Which means we have a 2-way tie. For the first time, the greenhouse game is ending in a final 2. I'm sorry, but Josh and Johnny,
Oh my God.
you have both been eliminated from the game. Please join the jury.
Wow. Oh. Do we have a camera on?
Here we are, the final 2 players. Our 9 jurors are about to vote for one of you to win this season. Now, I know our jury members have workshopped some questions, but before I let them at you, you each get to start with an opening statement. We'll start with Taylor, then go to Zach, and then for closing statements, we'll start with Zach and end with Taylor.
I'll sign up for this one. I just want to say I've had like the most fun time with this game. It has been an unforgettable experience, so thank you for casting me. I've had so much fun with all of you guys, so I hope to keep in touch after this, or I'll be like stalking you anyway, so you might as well just answer. I came into this game thinking I was going to play my typical game. This is not my first game. I have played the live game before. I don't know if you guys know that or not. And I normally play a very loyal game, under the radar game, and use my social capital. This was honestly the furthest from that, and I was not prepared for that at all. I know I have a lot of explaining to do, But I did come in looking for the alliance, the final twos that I wanted. And while I did kind of try for that, I feel like this game was so unpredictable that it just changed the way that I was going to play it all. I feel like I did play kind of a nasty game, and I'm ready to own that because these last few rounds especially, like I changed what I wanted to do, like up until the very last second. So I know I have some explaining to do, especially with you.
Yeah.
But in my last game, I actually did get runner-up. I feel like I insulated myself so well in the middle. People thought I was floating, and in this game I did hear floater references, so I felt like some of those were probably targeted at me. But again, I feel like I always knew what was going on. I did have social capital. I did want to mean what I say, but I also wanted to get to this point. And in the end, like no one saw it, and so I just wanted to grow from that last game and be able to sell myself. And so when I had the opportunity to finally make some flashy moves, I kind of just decided to do it. It wasn't necessarily what I was expecting, and I know I really have some explaining to do. But I guess I'm in my villain era unexpectedly, but I'm really happy to be here, and I wish you the best of luck, and ready for y'all's questions.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks.
Zach, you're up.
Alright, I just want to bounce off what Taylor said first, and this has been such a fun game. This is my first live game. I've played a couple online, but I had no idea what to expect coming in. For the days leading up, I was like, I'm going to get last place, and then here I am. So I feel a little bit better about myself now. I feel like my game needs a lot of explaining because there were things I intentionally tried to not reveal just so I could get to the end in an easier fashion so that people didn't view me as a target. I feel from very early in the game, Taylor was my final two, and we had two separate groups that we leaned in more so as the game went on. We had a final three with Josh, and then we had a final four with Johnny and Emily. I definitely tried to connect with everybody in both of those groups as much as I could, but also I did try to make roads outside of that. I'd like to say that I played this game selfishly generous, and what I mean by that is I was generous and I was willing to, block somebody's vote or give people seats to uproot, even when I'm a nominee, but only because I knew that that was beneficial for my game. I do want to touch on the round where Oscar went out, just really quickly in my opening, because I feel like, even though I think it was displayed as Josh's move, I feel like it was my move from the very start. Because as soon as that greenhouse competition was over, I pulled everybody aside and I said, we need to get Oscar out. I knew as soon as I was nominated alongside Johnny, I was going to help Johnny get his uproot because I was willing and I felt that I was protected enough that I could sit next to Oscar and survive. And that ended up happening. I know that I'm sure y'all have a lot of questions about what I did in my game, and I'm very excited to answer them. I'm very happy with either way that this finale goes. Taylor has been a great person to play this game with, and I wouldn't be happier sitting next to anyone else. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
So mine, I want to be as brief as possible, but I want you to both pick one defining moment that can summarize your whole game that you can talk us from start to finish real quick.
I think that the defining moment in my game was Kira going. I came into this game actually from 9-1 with Zakai and Kira as the Clumsy Girls Alliance, really tripped somehow the first night. And so I did want to move forward with that. But as soon as we ended the game, I kind of was trying to see where things are going. And honestly, I feel like our games weren't lining up with the people we wanted to work with. I came to Oscar. I really wanted to work with you from the start. I had vibes with you. We had our 4-person alliance. And so I felt like her going was the first time where I was like, I need to step my shit up. Because while I kind of just felt like everyone kind of came to me in the end. I did kind of know that it was in the works and I was trying to lay low in that moment, but that was kind of the moment where I was like, okay, I'm kind of done lying low. I felt like I was trying to play the pity card a little bit, but I really didn't want to vote here. But after that, I feel like I really ramped it up. It made my game a lot harder because I felt like I had to disappoint a lot more people, but I do not think I would have been here had that happened because I do think that people were getting tighter there was a relationship in the house. I know some of y'all like were friends, and so I just really think that move started it. Where I was like, okay, my original plan wasn't working. Like, let's kind of go with it and see like where else things can stick.
I think I had to change up my gameplay a lot of times during these 2 days. I think the first time that, kind of signaled when I needed to up my game is when I was nominated the first time by Zakai. That round, I think it was kind of revealed that I was intentionally sort of playing the middle, which I feel in retrospect was pretty obvious. Just because in those early rounds, I wanted to be in everybody's pocket and I didn't want to make any enemies. And for example, that's specifically why I chose Tulip once I was able to get into the greenhouse round 1, because that way you make friends, not enemies. Once I was nominated, though, I realized that I needed to solidify my allies, but also reach out to some people that I felt more so kind of iffy with. So I solidified with Taylor and Emily and Johnny, and then I also reached out to Thomas a little bit more. I reached out to Oscar a little bit more. I reached out to Josh a little bit more. I think doing that allowed me to have people in different places that, while I'm not their number one, I'm not their complete bottom either. And I tried to do that throughout the game, and once people started realizing that they wanted me to go, I worked my best to get them out as quick as I could.
Great, thank you.
So Zach, in this game, we saw you gathering information from larger groups and then taking that information back to your alliance. Can you give me an example of when you were the commander and not the soldier?
I do want to say, even though there were a lot of times where I wasn't in the greenhouse, but I was still doing the best I could to make something happen. I don't think there's any point in this game where you can command an army, because everybody that tried to command an army was booted very quickly after. I think the time where I stuck my neck out the most and put myself in the forefront, despite not being in power, was again during that Oscar round, when I was like, okay, we need to do this. And then I started telling people, I'm going to get Johnny to uproot. And even if they were kind of unsure of it, I figured that I would be able to convince people regardless. And if I didn't, the way I saw it is, if I was not able to do it, then I get 7th. But even if I didn't do it and I stayed around and Oscar was still in the game, I think I was looking at 6th or 5th based on who was still there and how they started eyeing me as a potential target.
I have a question for Taylor. Hi, Queen.
Hi.
Okay, so we've heard so far what your strategies is and your moves and all that. But from my perspective and perspective from other people that were kind of like leading the game most of the times and at different times, we kind of see you as someone who was just unaware of what was happening and very emotional and very stressed. Also, is that your strong game to make people feel bad for you while displaying such physical emotions? Like, you were on the verge of tears all the time that I interacted with you. That was the only reason I tried to pull you in, just to make you feel at ease with the game. So is that your strategy?
Okay, so coming into this game, I did kind of have the strategy that I was going to kind of just play like I didn't know what was going on. I feel like for this greenhouse game in particular, it kind of helps because a lot of people haven't played a game before. And so when you come off really strong and strategic, I feel like it can come to bite you in the ass and you become a target. And so I thought a way for me to kind of mitigate, because I do feel like I knew what was going on every single round. Like, I was not surprised by any of the votes. Maybe when I didn't think that you were going to take out Piglet, but that was the one time I felt unaware. So I felt like by me acting like I didn't know what was going on and stressed, it would make it seem like I wasn't as threatening. But I felt like I had the social capital, so I felt like I needed to do that, especially because you told me very odd, no one's looking at you, and you said it a few times in groups, and I felt like we were playing a very similar game. So I was like, I'm just going to kind of try and dumb it down. Like, I feel like I'm a very logical person. Was I stressed? Yes. I really wasn't on the verge of tears ever, in my opinion. Sometimes my voice does shake, but I really thought that if I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, I thought that it would help it seem like the gears aren't turning, but the gears were always turning.
I'll go. Yeah. Hey,
So I know what you all expect from me, but in the spirit of this, we're gonna take a moment, and I'm gonna switch it up. In light of that, I wanted to ask both of you to give me a time when you had to pivot, and how you interacted and adapted with that moment.
I guess I kind of already touched on it. I felt that when I kind of was changing, because I felt like I was seeing more groups form. I felt like Oscar, you were like really well insulated, and same with you, Elise. So I felt like that's when I really started to pivot. I kind of already touched on that. Another one is just kind of when I was thinking about Endgame, I just truly felt like people weren't seeing my game, and I felt like that was a big flaw by the way I play the game. And so I felt like I was trying to pivot kind of later on just to make sure I got here. And that was, I feel like, when I really came to you and pivoted and worked with you, because I was also like very threatened by you, and so I wanted you on my side. And so I knew, especially at this last vote, when I came to you and like got you to put your seed to do a vote count, that I knew at that moment I would have all the power, and that's why I kind of want to have the conversations I had to know like where to go. So that was like, oh, end game pivoting. But another one was the round that you nommed me, because I felt like we had talked about working together the night before, so I truly was not expecting you to nom me. And so I think that round, the first time I got wind of maybe you nomming me was when I talked to Emily and I talked to you, and we talked about how you told us told us all the final five, and for me, both of them were in the final five, but in both of their final fives you proposed, I was not in it. And so I was okay, maybe this isn't as viable as I'm hoping, and we just kept putting off our conversation, so I just decided, okay, maybe I'm going on the block for the first time, and that was also the round where everyone's like, who hasn't been up, who hasn't been up? So it's like, let me prepare to be on the block and just kind of maneuver from there. So I feel like that was kind of a change, because I think you started a lot of chaos, personally, and I know you did.
Okay.
I think I had to pivot in minor and major ways multiple times during this game. The earliest one I can think of is when Matt stated at that first vote that he was up for nomination. I remember I went to you, Thomas, and I was like, okay, Matt said that he was going for you if given the option. And obviously at that point, the flip hadn't happened yet, so I was like, okay, if Matt is leaving, let me try to use this to my advantage to get Rhodes in with Thomas. He ended up staying, he ended up confronting, as he should. I went and talked to him, I said, hey, here's what happened. I want to work with you, because at that point it did not make sense for me to go after Matt at all. It was nowhere in my interest. And then I also started to separate from you a little bit, Thomas, just because I knew that if I told you information based on that act, you had the potential to go and blow it up. Another time is during the fly trap round, when I realized that my original alliance of four with Emily, Johnny, and Taylor may not be able to last for the entire way, and moving into the end game, I wanted to have another very strong ally going in, and that's when I kind of reached out to Josh a lot more and was like, hey, I feel like we're in similar positions, I feel like we need to talk this out and work through it, and that ended up helping me a lot going into those last few rounds of the game.
Elise has something for Johnny, but we're gonna keep moving forward with the last question.
Yes. So the final question, I don't want it to be a pageant answer. I want y'all to be nasty to each other, rip out each other's throats. My final question is, what is something, or give a reason why the other player should indefinitely lose? And like I said, be nasty. This is where my vote will go.
I feel like me and Taylor played relatively similar, but the difference between our games is she was a lot more hesitant. I remember the one specific moment when she was nominating at Final Five, and it took her maybe about 30 or 40 seconds to figure out her answer while she was standing in front of the entire room. I was able to change my opinions as the game went on, but I was never standing not knowing what to do, because I tried to place myself in the best way that I was always able to have multiple options and multiple ways that I could go, so that I was never stuck there saying, I don't know. One of those examples is when it was Thomas versus Sakai. I had talked to Zakai and was like, hey, if you stay, like, I think it'd be good to work together. I also had that pre-existing relationship with Thomas. Either way that round went, I was able to recover and go in a different direction. But I feel like when I wanted something done, I went and did it. And I never questioned what I was doing.
I feel like this one should lose because I ate this game up, and I feel like some of y'all are seeing it, and I want to explain myself. I have the social capital. I truly did not, I never felt unsafe in this game. Even when I was numbed, I did not think I was going home. I had greenhouse wins, I had immunities, and like no one was talking about it. I spent seeds, I put someone up to take them down, and like I said, the hesitancy was literally part of the plan. I knew what I was doing in that moment. At that moment, I did want to move forward with you. And so that was kind of why I went with that. When I bid on the uproot, I was hoping you were wasting your seeds, to be honest. I feel like everything I was doing was very strategic, and I wasn't hesitant. And I think the fact that everyone thinks I was playing a scared game and not going on is almost a testament to my gameplay, because I insulated myself so well almost to the point where I literally look like I'm not playing. And so I think I should win. I know I played probably the nastier game, well, objectively the nastier game, but I want you guys to respect it because I do not think I'd be sitting here if I did not play that way. Huh?
I think that wasn't the question.
Oh, well, I was just saying like why I should win, why they should lose, but I can reword it to your liking if you'd like. I feel like everything, I guess, that Zach did, I was a part of. In terms of, like, I always knew what was going on, and I think that I was never put in danger, and he was always put in danger because he was way more expendable to me because you guys were counting on me for rounds. Whether you thought I was hesitant or not, a lot of times you guys did need my vote or thought that you needed my vote. I think that I covered it up very well, and I think I was a lot more strategic, and I, like, even to the point where he made like a whole chart of the entire game history and sent it to me. Like, I just feel like I had more people coming to me than he did, to the point where I was literally the one to make the final decisions in the end because of it. And I feel like he never had that kind of power. I did. So he didn't have to get blood on his hands, but I did. And he just never had the power to get blood on his hands like I did. So that is why I should win.
Congrats, gang. Eyes closed. Both of you. Hands in the air, both of them. On a scale from 1 to 10, close your fists. And close your eyes, please. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you think you were responsible for that move at the Final Four? Figures out.
At the Final Four?
Yes, on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate both of you not putting a 10. You can open up. I worked with both of you the whole time, and I think I know both of your games pretty dang well, but I'm still very, very torn. I believe everything that both of you were saying, and I think that both of you are correct in your convictions on your games. It just depends on what these guys feel. My question is, because I played with you so much, outside of that Final Four round and your trio with Josh, can you please tell me something that I did not know that you think would be key for me to know as to why I should vote for you over the other?
I can start. So some things that I have kind of kept secret in this game. First of all, one of the key votes for Zakai was me. But also, Zakai, when I told you to your face the round that I'm voting for Thomas, I voted for Thomas there because I figured you would respect that I'm not lying to you when I said that. At the final 5 round, I was placing it so I would be in the best situation no matter what. I gave Taylor my seeds because I knew that she would use them, to save me. And I said, so if Josh doesn't bid on uproot, I want you to bid on uproot. Because I want to make sure that maybe he will try to outbid it so he has less seeds going into the end. I then went to Josh and I said, I think Taylor's going to bid on uproot and take down Johnny. I think maybe you should bid on uproot. That way, either way, what happens, whether it's you, Johnny, going, or what did happen, I was concrete and strong in either direction. Another thing I did, just in case that Josh was the person that was casting the deciding vote, I felt like it would have been a good idea to take you, Johnny, out there at that round. So I had told Piglet and Josh about you and Emily and been like, this is an hint that Johnny has on the jury. If you want to take that out, now's your chance. Because I told y'all I wasn't going to say anything until I felt like I absolutely needed to, and I felt like that was the perfect time to do that so that they feel closer to me and they feel farther against you and feel like you are more of a jury threat.
Nice.
Okay, a couple things I feel like you don't know about my game is I was the one vote for Emily the round that she stayed. No one and I loved the chaos that it created and I played off that. I'm sorry, I didn't think you were going. I just like I was just having a little fun with it.
Oh no, that one vote didn't matter.
Because of her speech.
Oh, it mattered. Oh, it mattered.
And then I think, just like he said, I mean, maybe people expected it, but no one asked me about it. I also voted to keep you, Zakai, in the moment. And another thing I don't think he knew is, like, I was working real close with Piglet, and I was working very close with Josh. I was, like, really planning pretty much the entire time of Final Four on taking Josh to the end. And I feel like you did not know that. I feel like you expected me to taking you. I just thought, and honestly, I would have a harder time speaking my game against Josh just because I feel like you guys saw it a lot more and wouldn't have credited it, whereas like when we were playing together, I feel like I could have explained myself a little bit better. So I don't think you saw any of those things, and also I did give Oscar seeds for the fly trap. So I don't think that was expected either.
Thank you for your secrets.
Yes.
That's fun.
I don't have any questions for the people that backstabbed me in this game, despite me showing my true loyalty to them from the very beginning of the game. So I don't know if anyone wants to take my opportunity to ask a question, but I have nothing to say to them.
I have like a question off of that. Do you think over-promising loyalty is a positive or negative part of your game?
Before she answers that, I would like the jury to know that she pinky promised me twice, double pinky promised me 3 times, and we hugged.
You pinky promised me as well.
Well, you were gone. This is like
This is
top
before
4.
I was gone.
This is top 4. Like right before.
So
the line was what?
You pinky promised to keep me, and
I did. I voted to keep you.
No.
I'll start. I objectively think I played less loyal, and I'm gonna own that, but I did come into this game wanting to play loyal. I have never had such a hard time getting someone to respond to me. Like, I don't know, in the past when I made a final 2, it's like, yeah, it's like final 2. Like, I feel like I was being like, say it back and stuff like that. So I felt for the first time, like I just didn't have that easy final 2 in Core Alliance. And the Core Alliance I did have, I felt like they were changing because I was losing people. So I felt like I couldn't play as loyal, but I did want to play loyal. I know I said specifically to you, Piglet, and you, Josh, like pinky promises mean the world to me. That's why I was out there for so long, because when I made that pinky promise, I meant it. At the time,
Obviously not.
when I got out there, I truly just wanted a chance at this game. Like, we all came here to win, and I even said to the camera, as you'll see, like, I was like, I literally am gonna like lose both my pinkies. My best friend Emma, we take pinky promises very seriously. He's gonna kill me for
You
this.
pinky promised on your cat's life.
Huh?
You pinky promised on your cat's life.
Where's the cat?
No, I said, do you want me to swear? I said, do you want me
said
to?
on my cat's life.
I don't think it
Where's the
came in
cat?
that context. Where is that?
Bring in the cat.
But what I
I mean, how would I know about it unless you said it?
And I do think it's nasty, and I hated doing, especially when you initiated the double pinky promise and you crossed our arms. So I was like, okay, maybe, but then you uncrossed them, and I felt horrible. And I honestly felt like I was taking something away from you. But I know like all of us here wanted to be here, and I wanted this so bad. And I just really wanted the chance to do that. So I feel like I did what I had to do to be here. Never been able to play a villainous game. I have always played a will game. This is the first time I haven't been able to do that, and I think it hurts. I'm finding out that it hurts, and so it doesn't feel good almost too, because I feel like even though these are game decisions, like you personally connect with people, and so to like say things that even if you like want them to be true at the time, end up changing, and you kind of just have to go with it. Like, it doesn't feel good to have to like kind of cut back on loyalty, because I really did want to play a loyal game, but I also, like I said, wanted to be here, and I felt like I had to adapt to make sure I was here. So I definitely think it hurt me, and I was not like what I wanted to do, and I felt like it just felt like finals like year round on, it just felt like I was having to not be loyal, and I hated it.
Something I caught up on in particular when you mentioned that the life vote didn't matter, or the vote before didn't matter with the straight vote. What was kind of the downfall of both our games ended up being part of that vote because we spiraled out of control, and it had something to do with like a loyalty test. There was some sort of loyalty test out there where you basically broke that trust, you broke that promise.
Were you conscious of that?
I knew nothing about this loyalty test when I did that. I did it because I really wanted to work with Emily, and I felt like I was like not, in our group before, I felt like I was the bottom 4 person on that. So, and then I just gave that speech, and so I just wanted to throw a vote because I didn't think she was getting any votes, and I also kind of wanted to create the paranoia of who threw that vote because I did not think anyone would think it's me. That's why I thought it'd be so fun.
I think inherently there's good to be seen with both being non-loyal and loyal. I would say I think loyalty, being a loyal player, is a lot harder to pull off. Because being a loyal player, you have to have your people that you're good with, and then you also have to be conscious that if you can't backstab them if you want to stay loyal, and if you do, you're pissing them off in the jury. And then if you try to say I was a loyal player, that's just fucking yourself over. I think being an unloyal player is good as long as you own it. I feel like if you're like, I was kind of in between, that's not giving anyone anything. But I would say I would respect playing a loyal game a little bit more. For me, I tried to spread my loyalty out a little bit to as many people as I could, but I tried to not promise people things unless I could give it to them. Like maybe, for example, you, Elise, I tried to reach out to you, especially in that round when we were literally handcuffed together, but we never promised each other anything. And I was like, I want this as a safe plan for if I need to fall back. The only people I think I ever pinky promised is Emily. I had a final 2 with, I think, in round 2, where eventually at some point I was like, I can't go down with this shit. The only time that I ever dropped loyalties was when I realized that they were very closely or very soon going to go, because I didn't want to go right after them. I believe I pinky promised Josh final 3, but then I also knew that it likely wouldn't be my decision in final 3, and then I promised you that if I was in a position of power, I would take you at final greenhouse. Other than that, unless I'm wrong, I don't think I pinky promised anything. I also think I promised Zakai my vote during the round where she went home, and I kept true to that. I don't want to say that I didn't play deceptive, because I certainly did. I certainly did lie, but I tried my best. When I told somebody, I'm completely loyal to you, you have my trust, I tried to stick to that. And even though I had people outside of that, I never wanted to give them a false sense of, okay, they promised me, they're never going to fuck me over, because that always leaves people leaving with a bad taste in their mouth.
Great, thank you. Thank you, jury. We will now move on to the final statements of our finalists. We started with Taylor at the start, so we'll start with Zach now.
Yeah. I think I explained a lot of my game just then, so it's kind of hard to go off of that. But I feel like I tried my best to be loyal to people in entirety, but very selectively. And then outside of that, I had different groups where I was somewhat loyal as safe plans. I always wanted somewhere that I could go if shit hit the fan. For example, like when Emily and Johnny one of them was about to be fly trapped. I wanted to make sure that I had plans outside of that. I believe that in this game, I was never very good at challenges, but I don't think I ever needed to be. I feel like outside of some of the rounds where I was nominated, even though when I was nominated, I was never at a super big risk of going home, I feel like I always knew what was going on, and I was always able to be included in the plan if necessary. I did a lot of smaller and minor moves as the game moved on. One of the things I did early on, I was thinking straight from Tulip, is when it was, I believe it was after the first Greenhouse nominations, I believe it was Matt and Thomas were like, you can block me if you want, and I blocked them because I realized that was the best way to keep Zakai in, who I felt good with moving forward in the game. I had such a fun time playing this season, and whatever you guys decide, I'm very happy with the winner, and I'm very happy with how it came out. I think we did something really fun here, and I hope that everybody had as good of a time as I did. Thank you all for so much fun.
Yes, obviously I have had the time of my life playing this game. I do not feel great that I've hurt so many people, and I hope whether it's before the vote or after the vote, you like give me a chance to talk, because I really want to like move forward as like people after this game. So hope I get the chance for that. I feel like a lot of you guys have focused on this loyalty piece, but I feel like I truly did play the game that I had to play. A lot of people I feel like who were mad or upset that I wasn't like super loyal, I want you to think like I feel like you guys also had other people that you might have been more loyal to at other times. So I felt like I made the moves I had to make, and I also laid low to the point where people didn't realize that it was happening. I really am not trying to like make you guys upset, but you know, when we watch Survivor and we watch Big Brother, we love the villain moves. But like sitting up here facing you guys, I feel like it doesn't feel like as great, and I know it probably is a lot different when it happens to you. But I feel like I didn't want to sit up here and have nothing to say. I wanted to be able to say any moves. I didn't want you guys to think I was a floater. I didn't want to sit up next to Josh, who was like, I feel like everyone saw his game, and like that was a move I had to make, and I knew I was going to get repercussions. I knew I was going to have repercussions for a lot of things I did today, especially. But I knew what was going on. I had the social capital. I was Tulip, Rose, and Sunflower, and I was immune multiple times. And despite that, I don't think I was ever thought for the fly trap. I never had to worry about uproot. I gave people seeds. I received seeds. Like I feel like I did the damn thing, and I just like hope you guys at the end of the day respect it. And I hope for you both. I think a lot of things that we did together, I feel like I was a heavier sway in, and I intentionally was trying to do that from the behind the scenes. I tried to be hesitant, and I said in many confessionals, like, this can really hurt me, because it's exactly what hurt me in the last game. But I didn't come up with a strategy, except the little I did about finding my people did not work out exactly how I wanted to, and I was losing numbers. So I truly feel like I was playing a game of adaptability and working with what I had to get to this point, because I wanted to get here and I wanted to have a chance to say what I had to say and people even give a listen. Josh, I know you probably don't want to hear it. I truly hope after this game that you do give me the chance to talk. I feel horrible about this vote, and I think that you will see that after. But I hope you do give me the chance, and it was all in the name of like wanting to get here, wanting to make a move that people saw, and have a chance at winning this game. And I feel like you were a good talker. You were the one who saw that you told me I was in a good spot, and I felt like we were playing so similarly, but you were more seeing that I just wanted to be here, and I wanted to give my chance. And I'm sorry, and I'm just really sorry, and I want to talk to you after this, like regardless of what happens. But I appreciated playing with all of you. I do feel like I ate it up. I will cut this down, but good luck to you. And yeah, I said that I hope some of y'all will get your last pause, and that was the close, so yeah.
All right, and that is the end of the final round. Congratulations. All right. Here we are at the end of another greenhouse season. I would just like to take this moment to thank all of you for giving up a weekend to do this. That's crazy. It just means a lot to me, especially when people travel. Like, that's a big deal. Thank you for being such good friends to me. This is my biggest hobby. It relaxes me. I think it's a really fun way to make people from every corner of my life meet each other and bond in a really intense way in 48 hours. So I know it's an intense game. I hope you leave here with more friends than you got here with. But yeah, thank you all very much. And I always like to do a couple thank yous here at the finale. Let's give a huge shout out to our film crew. Just as long as y'all out in the fucking cold, on their fucking feet, but with their arm raised the whole time. So, like, means a lot, especially because you don't get the competitive thrill of it all. I don't know why people like to help me so much, but I appreciate it. And I would also like to give a shout out to my mom and dad for cooking. I come up with all the games and the bullshit, but they're the actual hospitality here. It's because of their coolness that this happens at all. And I would also like to give a shout out to my second in command, Holly. I come up with all the games and the bullshit, but they're the actual hospitality here. It's because of their coolness that this happens at all. And I would also like to give a shout out to my second in command, Holly. I come up with all the games and the bullshit, but they're the actual hospitality here. It's because of their coolness that this happens at all. And I would also like to give a shout out to my second in command, Holly. game, I run every one of my ideas by her, so anything you like, it's because she liked it first. And if you didn't like it, blame her. But anyway, with that, it's time to crown a winner. Congratulations to our first final 2 of the greenhouse. That is crazy. And both of you know how long and hard this game is, and I'm proud of both of you. And each of you would make an excellent winner. So good luck, even though I know what happens. I'll go in the order of elimination. Matt voted for Zach. That's 1 vote, Zach.
So at Roundtable, I gave her absolutely zero chance for me to even consider voting for her. She had nothing in my sights of qualities to go for it. The reason why I brought up that follow-up question is because in the early half of the game, it was important to test loyalties, and that's ultimately what spiraled a lot of the game out of control. The fact that she didn't orchestrate it, and the fact that she went back on her word from it and didn't own up to it, is ultimately why I'm going the other way. She had it for 90% of the conversation, but the vote is going Zach. The 2 big things I've learned from this game is that even if you are on the outs, even if you have your name is on the wall, you're the final nomination, there is still chances to still make moves in this game and to try to dig yourself back out. And the other part from this that's magical about this game is that every round can be treated completely differently as long as you allow people to control the narrative in the right way. People have power only because of the illusion of the people that surround themselves with you. If you restructure it or you know how to deal with it, you can change the course of the game, whether you have flower powers or you have nothing in your hands.
Zakai voted for Taylor. That's 1 vote, Zach. 1 vote, Taylor.
I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I'm voting for Taylor. I'll tell you why. I've been writing this girl since night 1. We rode here together, and she kind of ate it up. I knew she was playing a hard game, and everyone else was being haters and like, she did nothing. I'm not gonna vote for her. She did nothing. This girl did everything, basically. I'm sorry, Zach. Like, us Z's gotta stick together, but not right now. It's gotta be the girl is.
What have you learned as a player in this game that'll help you for next time you're in a reality competition show like this?
Heard. Don't trust any of these bitches. Everyone's a lying liar. I've never seen so many rugs in my life. They all talk. I never knew furniture could talk. It's so crazy. Like, it's so insane.
No, thank you so much for playing Zakai. I do want to let you know I was rooting for you the most.
Thank you. I was rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
I was rooting for you. You know?
Thomas voted for Taylor. That's 2 votes Taylor. 1 vote Zach.
You know, I flip-flopped quite a bit on this decision, but at the end of the day, I have to respect a bitch who blew it up. Whether it was intentional or not, Taylor stirred my pot, and I boiled over. Taylor, if you're watching this, I'm not mad, I'm not disappointed, I'm of distaste. Regardless, you received my vote. But remember, all light bulbs bust.
All right.
Sorry, I blacked out.
Hi, Thomas. Welcome. So I do have one question for all the jurors. What is something you learned this weekend as a player for next time you find yourself in a reality television competition?
I think that I learned that I'm great in front of a camera, and I should probably shut the fuck up. However, I don't think I will.
Emily voted for Zach. She votes Zach. She votes Taylor.
Yeah, at the end of the day, both of you were really great allies for me, and I really respected the way you analytically approach the game, but also the way you made social connections, and I respect it. And this isn't about loyalty, it's truly about like passion for the game. And Taylor, I know you killed it, and Zach, I know you killed it, but Taylor, I still think you were playing more with fear than with passion, and for that, Zach has my vote to win.
Alright, what lesson did you learn as a player from the Greenhouse Season 6?
I don't know if, I think if anything, some of my bad habits I had when I first started playing came back. I'm a compulsive liar in these games, and I'm just constantly spewing shit out of my mouth trying to tell people what they want to hear. And I had reined that in before in other games and played more like the dancing around fairy, let's be nice to everybody. But in this game, I felt the need to like push people apart from each other and the need to lie and make people think that other people were being scheming. Like I loved pinning Thomas as like the manipulator and the one telling everyone what they want to hear when that's what I was doing the whole time.
Right.
So I think if anything, I went back to old habits.
Oscar voted for Zach. That's 3 votes Zach, 2 votes Taylor.
I'm thinking that these are definitely not the ones that I saw that were an option, but out of these two, there's one that is clear to me. Taylor, congratulations on playing whatever it is that you are playing. If this is your strategy, good luck. I don't know how that's gonna get you anywhere. Zach, you were under my radar for the longest time. I even try to be a little bit condescending with you, like take you under my wing because you're such a young player and you need to be protected. But you clearly do not, and I don't know for how long you have been on your own and making all these moves. And I'm very proud of that. Even though I think that's sounding condescending right now, I'm sorry. So what I'm trying to say is, congratulations. I really like your game, and I'm just choose to... Wait, what am I voting for?
The one you want to win.
The one I want to win? Okay, clear cut, he needs to win. Zach.
Alright, thank you, Oscar. And what did you learn as a player from this season that'll help you next time you're on a reality competition show?
Definitely fly a little bit under the radar, but I do find myself enjoying the game that I played by being honest and by being a little bit aggressive. I would just try to... I don't know what I would do different. I would like to go this way in every single game, actually.
Elise voted for Taylor. That's 3 votes Taylor. Right. 3 votes Zach. It's tied. Oh, it's Gabby. Yeah.
When we did our jury roundtable earlier, I was already decided that no matter what, I wouldn't vote for Taylor to win. And I am convinced now. So I'm wondering if I should let the speeches and all the questions and the answers, like how much I should let that affect my decision making based on like the fact that I was so strongly against a lot, like getting her to win before, just based on like my own experiences with her, everything that people were saying in the round table, and just my perceptions and my logic around what makes a good winner or what makes someone the winner. That being said, she really surprised me with the rationale behind the things that she did, even down to the like nervousness and the hesitancy and the purposeful cluelessness. I mean, I don't appreciate that tactic, but I respect it. I really fell for that, and I really like she was saying, I kind of like the messiness. She said when you watch Survivor Big Brother, like you kind of like a villain move. So I think I'm gonna go with her. But Zach played an amazing game, so it's really hard. I think they both flew under the radar, but he really kept like his like mouth shut about a lot of things, but like was like quietly dispersing information. And then obviously he always stayed like cool, calm, and collected about being on the block, and his move to get Oscar out. I do think that you can credit him with that, because I think he planted the seed in Josh's mind to do that. I think that's like one of the biggest moves of the game. I really like did and still consider some of the behavior like floating a little bit, because I do love like a bolder game. That's why I wish Johnny would have won, but I now respect the floating a little bit more and see the reasoning behind it. So which one am I putting it on?
The one that you want to win.
Okay.
So what did you learn in this game as a player?
I feel like I've never necessarily been a competitions gal, and I said it in my video. I was like, this time I'm gonna stay calm, I'm gonna stay focused, I'm not gonna get caught up in like the stress or the quickness of games. I'm gonna win the games. Like that's how you get far, you're gonna win the games. And I did that this game, so I'm just excited that like I've been able to get better at different types of challenges.
Yep. Piglet. Voted for Taylor. 4 votes Taylor, 3 votes Zach.
Going in, I was going to vote for probably Zach. And now after hearing, because whenever I asked that question about be shady, rip out a throat, Zach did not rip out Taylor's throat. And I feel like Taylor did it more so, but maybe not to the extent that I wanted her to. I wanted it to be a battle. I wanted them to just be evil, and I didn't get that from either of them. Taylor gave me more evil energy, and I respect that. For Zach, he played a great game and definitely flew under the radar enough to get him to the finale. And he played such a strategic game that I didn't even know. Same thing with Taylor. I feel like the house is voting Zach, if I had to guess. I have no idea, but Taylor did play nastier, and I really fuck with that. So I'm gonna vote Taylor.
Alright, thank you, Piglet. And what did you learn as a player from this season for next time?
Everyone is rotted down. Everyone here is cool, but everyone is a liar. Everyone's a schemer. We all were lying to each other's faces, which was so much fun to participate in. But also, for myself, I tried to play the game where people came to me, and that did happen, but it didn't happen enough for me to get to the final 4 and then to the finale. So I learned to be more active in my game.
Johnny voted for Zach. 4 votes Zach, 1 vote left.
Yeah, this is actually really hard because I was like super low on both of them throughout the game, and that's kind of why I don't mean it that way, but like that's why I was like okay sitting in the end with them. But the move they pulled off at Final Four was so baller, and it was like a greenhouse first, and I was shook, and not even like was I shook, like I was not even like 3rd in command in that plan, like I was definitively 4th, so like regardless I would have gone home, but the way I left was like, what? I think Taylor, what everyone said about her is like kind of true. I think that she did a lot of like teetering and not sure, and like I do believe the like pretending to be emotional, which is how she dubbed it, like just makes you look indecisive, where I think Zach is able to have a lot more conviction over his moves, but I do think that Taylor had more autonomy in the game,
So it leaves me torn. I do believe that one of them played a stronger game with their convictions, and that is why I will be voting for Zach to win the Greenhouse 6. I think that he did a real good job. I think he played a really strong forward game, and I respect the game that he played, and I respect the fact that I was so surprised by the stuff he was doing, considering I trusted him more than Taylor the whole time. And I think the fact that he was probably doing more to undermine me than she was leaves me insanely impressed. So, nice job. I do think either of them would be a fantastic winner, but I do think that Zach deserves my vote based on the way that I value games when I'm on a jury.
What is something you learned today as a player and maybe even host for next time you play a game like this?
Yeah, I think that, first off, I have intentionally not played games for over 2 years because I kept playing with the same people in the same New York scene over and over again, and they were all Survivor games, and every time I get taken out at the merge because I play the same way I played here, which is just I'm big and boisterous and I'm gunning to make moves and I want to flip the house and those are things I want to do, but then if you do that at the merge boot, you're the second merge boot, or if you do it at the merge boot, you're idled out at the third merge boot, and it kept happening to me. So I just took a break from these games because they were impacting me. And this is by far the best I've done in one of these games. I've never made single digits in a live game, regardless of how many of them that I've played. So I learned that I can do it. I really didn't think I could. I think if I didn't do well here, I probably would have called it quits for myself on playing and just stuck to hosting. And I think this kind of showed myself that I do have the chops, which makes me feel much better about myself as a player. Because the last 2 games I've played have not gone as well, and I stopped playing games a long time ago because I didn't like the way that I lied to people, and I don't think lying to people is fun. But when you sign up for these games, you're signing up to lie to people. What did I learn about being a host? I think that there's so much that could be done with formats. And I think that I host Survivor, so Survivor is extremely simple, and I say keep it simple, stupid when I set up my production calls. I'm what kind of ideas are you guys throwing out there? That's crazy. But I think the way that there's levels and layers to this, the Greenhouse is set up in a way that there literally cannot be a boring season except for season 3, and I do. I do believe that the format can make the game exciting, and if there's something that I could do to my game to make every game be exciting, that would be cool. I don't think it's as easy with Survivor because there's a lot of majority alliances that never break up and pagonging, and I think the same thing can happen in a Greenhouse season, but I don't think that happened here, and I think that's super cool. I would love to come back because this is such a healthy community, and I said it reminds me a lot of mine. There are a lot of games that I've played that are not healthy communities where a lot of people are just I was better than you because of this, when you're on the jury, and a lot of people undermining each other after the game is done, and I was out there with those people for 25 minutes and none of that is happening. And I just think it's a really good group of people that you recruit, which I think is really cool and special, and I think what you do here is really amazing.
Thank you. That's way more sincere than I thought it would be. 1 vote left. Josh voted for the winner of the Greenhouse 6, Taylor.
Hard, I did not think. Oh my gosh, thank you. I seriously had so much fun playing with all of you guys. I seriously cannot believe that I just won. So I don't know. I literally so angry now, and I just started saying that word since I entered this house.
Alright, thank you for being
Also,
It was
just
meant
so
for me.
it's on tape, Oscar's elimination was completely my idea. That man did not come and talk to me about that once, but he wants to sit in front of the entire jury and say that the biggest move in the entire game, besides my elimination, was his idea. False.
So what are you thinking as you vote for a winner of the game?
Nothing. My mind is blank. Seriously, I'm thinking of nothing.
And I believe you. So ultimately, we do need a decision from you.
I put the cup on the person I like the most.
Yes.
Let's give it to the women. Why not?
Alright, so you voted for Taylor. Any particular reason?
No, although she completely stabbed me in the back there at the very end, I feel like a woman should win because why not?
Okay. And what about this game, what did you learn as a player in this game for maybe next time you're in the ring?
I learned that everyone's got their own MO. Kind of just like Taylor, how some people were saying that she was flying under the radar when she says that she had a plan the whole time. Maybe we always couldn't see it, but it got her in that chair, and she got my vote for it, so